of, for, by, all is a movement that is highly scalable and uses technology to grow. And Nina Simon, our next Titans of Tech, is the leader of this organization. And the organization really focuses, its purpose is around how do we keep communities relevant? How do we make sure that they maintain their relevance throughout their entire lives? And why is that important? It's important because community involvement has a directly correlative effect on the health of a community. If your libraries, if your cultural centers are healthy, so too is the community. And that's really the purpose of what Nina has brought forth. And not just here in Santa Cruz, but today around the world. I think this is a remarkable opportunity to be involved, and I'd like to invite you to consider being involved with us. And so if you have questions or thoughts around this, please come and see us afterwards. If I may, I will introduce Nina Simon.
Thank you. As Craig said, I'm the founder CEO of By For All. We're a global tech nonprofit that helps museums, libraries, parks, and theaters become more relevant to their diverse communities. I feel so lucky to have been able to start this organization here in Santa Cruz, to have great founding board members like Craig, like Ellen Moore from the New Teacher Center, but be able to spread and share our work all over the world. But today, as has been mentioned by many folks, we've been asked to talk about what brought us here. So I'm not going to talk at all about the work I'm doing today. Instead, I want to share with you a few lessons I learned from one of the mentors who did the most to shape my path. This mentor is a titan of tech in her own right, though she didn't set out with that in mind. She came into tech accidentally. In her 30s, taking care of 2 young kids, she was blindsided by an unexpected divorce. She resolved right away that she needed to get a job, a good-paying job, to provide for her family. I didn't really get to know her well until after the divorce. I know it wasn't what she wanted, but I also know that the world is a better place because of her professional accomplishments and because of all the lessons she shared with me and so many others. The first lesson I learned from my mentor is this, and has been said by many folks here, to always keep learning. And it's fitting because she made her career in the educational technology industry. I watched as my mentor charted her own path from books to videos to interactive CD-ROMs to websites, apps, augmented reality. She rose to become an executive at multinational corporations, and then at the age of 55, she risked it all to found a startup in Peru. We've all had twists and turns in our career. I know for myself, as an electrical engineer, turned exhibit designer, turned museum director, turned global nonprofit starter, whenever I wonder about this path, I think about how she always aggressively moved forward with the technology. How she knew that you can never become irrelevant if you keep learning, if you stay curious, if you stay open. Still to this day, whenever I see her, she'll share some amazing new technology I've never heard of. She'll whip out her phone and she'll say, check out what my engineers have been working on. Isn't it awesome? And it always is. The second thing I learned from my mentor was to have a rock-solid work ethic. Whenever I'm struggling with late nights, I hear her voice in my head saying, hey, it's not the post office. My mentor worked in a demanding industry for demanding bosses. She worked for blowhards, she worked for geniuses. She worked for Michael Milken, who thought the best time for a work call was 5:30 in the morning on a Saturday. Her work took her overseas frequently, and even when she was home, she left the home every day at 7 in the morning, came home at 7:30 or 8 at night. She told me how she'd come home, kick off her high heels, pour a glass of white wine, kiss her kids goodnight, and wonder if it was all worth it. On good days, she knew it was. On bad days, well, that's what the glass of wine was for. But even in a demanding industry, she always found ways to involve her kids. She didn't care if it looked weird to bring them into an office. She didn't care if it looked weird to have them work the booth at E3. Even though she didn't have a lot of time, she always made time for the people she cared about. And that brings me to the most important thing I've learned from my mentor, which is how important it is to be a mentor to others. It seems like she's always taking a chance on somebody, lifting them up, pushing them to excel, and then celebrating with them when they do. I think of the secretary who she was proud to say had become a PhD, the employees who became bosses. She taught me how important it is for all of us to share our talents, to mentor others, to root for others as much as we root for ourselves. These days, one of her favorite things to do is brag about her 2 daughters. That one was just on C-SPAN, she'll say. This one was in the Wall Street Journal. I don't know where the heck they got it from. I think it's fairly obvious. Will you stand up? We got it from you. Ladies and gentlemen, my mother, Tiger Cat, Serena Simon.